Hey guys, Drifter here. Today's gameplay is going to show you how to unchain yourself and play Call of Duty better than you've ever played Call of Duty before. This sounds a little bit crazy, and it's going to sound crazier because it's about half philosophy and half raw practical strategy, but I promise you, if you stick with me, if you watch this episode, you will get better at Call of Duty and several other things, as a matter of fact. The gameplay that you're seeing is me using the PDW against a good team here on Grind. I'm actually playing the Revolution Map Pack DLC, not the regular Domination playlist. Yeah, the DLC playlist. I know they're a good team. I know I'm beating them up a little bit right now, but I know they're good because I played with them before and they completely smashed me in the previous rounds. Also, I know they're good because not many bad players are playing the Revolution map pack at 2 in the morning on a Monday evening. Typically, only the people that are really hardcore about Call of Duty, the people that really play all the time, they're the ones that come out and play with this, and that's what I was running into all night. And I was getting trashed all night until this game, and then I just completely flipped it around and rolled over people. The gameplay that you're going to see here is way better than what I normally post on my channel. I'd like to say I'm kind of like Woody. I'm a very average, normal-ish kind of gamer. I'm not like a big score kind of guy, but this is going to be more of a big score game. And the reason it's a big score game is because I've unchained myself while playing it. I'm going to teach you how to do the same thing. There are two types of chains we're going to be discussing today. The first chain is the chain of limits, and the second chain is the chain of comforts. The chain of limits has to do with baselines and measurements. This is the philosophical part, the raw practical strategy part. I'm saving for the end because it's the best, and I know you're going to like it if you just humor me and stick around. But the chain of limits, it's what's my kill-death ratio, what's my normal performance in this game, who do I know that does really good, how should I strive to be like this, and that's what a lot of people shoot for, and a lot of people set the bar kind of lower than they should. If you set the bar higher, even if you miss, you still are going to perform better than average. I believe it's a quote from Muhammad, is that if you aim for the moon and you miss, you're still going to land in the stars or something like that. But this happened to me in real life. It was a real-life practical example of this. When I was doing gamer fitness, I have an online e-trainer. He told me I need to run 1 mile, and then the next day 1.5 miles, next day 2 miles, next day it was another 2 miles. This was really challenging and foreboding for me. I'm a guy that doesn't run a lot. I sit around my house. I play video games all the day. I mean, I just sit here, play League of Legends, I play Call of Duty, I'll kick up a little StarCraft every now and then. I'm not exactly what you would look toward as like a very fit running kind of person. I get huffed and puffed going to the refrigerator, and what he told me to do is that I need to measure the distance beforehand and get a feel for how long a mile was so that I can run there and then walk back, that sort of thing. But I'm really, really lazy, and I don't like doing things beforehand, and measuring the distance involved me walking the distance. So I was like, you know what, my wife has this cheap pedometer that she got from the Dollar Tree. I'll just wear that, and I'll run this mile, and then I'll run the 2 miles. Everything will be fine. What I didn't know, and what I learned just recently, is that what I was using was what's called a walking pedometer. It has no ability to measure speed or velocity or acceleration or any of these things. It just has a little tick in it that measures your body shake and just kind of guesstimating when you're walking up, and your body, bobs up and down when you're walking. And even at that, it was a cheap one. I don't really think it was working all that right. And what it was telling me is that, I would run in when it would hit a half mile, I'd turn around and come home, call it a mile. I'd do the same thing the next day. It would tell me, oh, I hit a mile. If I turn around and come home, it'll be 2 miles. I got it, no problem. Well, my wife bought herself a much nicer pedometer. I guess I should have kept those expensive heartbeat monitor pedometer thingies. And she measured the distance properly. What I found out is that I was actually running 2 miles when I thought it was 1 mile, and I was running 4 miles when I thought it was 2 miles. To put this in terms for the European and overseas subscribers and followers, that's 1.6 kilometers and 3.2 kilometers respectively for 1 and 2 miles. What I was actually running was 3 kilometers and 6.2 kilometers, just kind of rounding a little bit. And this is way beyond anything that I ever would have thought I've been able to. My wife is on Couch to 5K, where you spend the better part of 3 months training to be able to run 5 kilometers. Because I didn't know the distances, because I didn't know how far I was supposed to run, because I had no preconceived notions or baselines, I was able to run 6.2 kilometers. It was very tiresome. It was not easy, but I recovered from it, and then I did it again the next day, and I kept doing it. This applies to real life, and this applies to Call of Duty. If you didn't know how good you were supposed to be doing, if you didn't know how high your kill-death ratio was supposed to be, how many objectives you were supposed to cap, if you didn't know how good you could or could not aim, you would obviously shoot for a higher goal than what most people shoot for. If you thought that you could shoot people all the way across the map with pistols and some machine guns, would you go for it? Would you really try to do it? And even if it's not the best strategy, you really will get people if you go for these long shot kind of things, if you push yourself, if you try to do these things, if you remove the built-in blocks of limitation that are in your brain that hinder you from performing better, you will do better. The best thing I can tell you to do, don't look at your scoreboard. Don't care about how far away they are. Be fast, be mobile, be doing something. Always go for the long shot, no matter how long it is. And I promise you, you're going to perform better. Now, that was my philosophical part. The second part is pure strategy here, though there is some philosophy to it. This is the chain of comforts. We as human beings are creatures of habit. We always do things that are easy for us, things that are most comfortable. This is why exercise is hard. This is why self-improvement is hard. This is why all these things are hard. When I play Call of Duty, there's a couple of guns I like. I don't really use any of the other guns. I do it for in-depth, but I have a couple classes that never change. I use AN-94, I use MSMC, shotgun a little bit. That's really about it. Because I do in-depth, I'm able to use other guns. A lot of other Call of Duty players are even worse than me. You guys on the channel that watch in-depth, you're a little bit better, but the rest of you probably are only going to be using a couple of guns. I had a roommate, he'd use like 2 guns the whole game and complain about lack of gun variety. But what you do is you get yourself stuck in a rut. You're going through the motions, kind of like how boxers will telegraph their punches to each other when they get too used to boxing and not playing any other sort of sport. You do the same thing in Call of Duty. People know where you're going to rush. People know where you're going to be. They know what the flank routes are. They know what your gun are. You know how to perform. You know when you've lost a gunfight, when to quit, etc., etc., etc. However, you can change this with one simple strategy. This is what I did. This is why I'm doing so good in this particular game. That's because I used akimbo TAC 45s for about 3 or 4 games in a row. I think I did akimbo cap 40 once, and then I used akimbo TAC 45. Then I used some others like a regular TAC 45, and then I went back to akimbo again. I was just using pistols only. Very what you would consider bad weapons, not good weapons. And this is my recommendation for you. This is how I promise you you're going to get better if you do this, even though it's not a pleasant thing. I want you to make a class that's akimbo TAC 45s. Or akimbo 5.7s, or if you don't have anything akimbo, I want you to run a single 5.7. Put a silencer on it, make it hard. Just 5.7 with a silencer or 5.7 with something like fast mag. That's all you get. You're not getting anything else. And I want you to use this and only this, just this pistol class for 3 games, preferably 4 or 5 games. The first 2 games are going to be brutal. You're going to hate me, you're going to hate yourself, you're going to think this is a stupid idea. The third game, I can promise you, because I know that most of you are human beings out there, there's not many vampires or aliens subscribed on this channel, you're going to improve, you're going to get better. Human beings are very adaptable, you're a person, and you're probably going to be going closer to average or even on that third game. By the time you hit the 4th game, you might actually be going positive. You're going to be pulling up a little bit, but you're going to be very disappointed in me, very disappointed in this advice, smashing down your kill-death ratio that doesn't even really matter to begin with. But then on that 5th game, what I want you to do is just take that class and throw it away, and I want you to build your favorite submachine gun class. The easiest one, the one that I use for the example here, is the PDW. If it's MSMC, that's fine. I really like PDW MSMC because they're high damage and they're very similar to the pistols. You're going to get a similar performance out of it, but if there's another one that you like better, I want you to use that one. Once you've done this, you play that 5th game, you don't look at the scoreboard, you don't look at your scoreboard, you don't concern yourself with kill-death ratios. I want you to play fast, play just like you did with the pistol. You have to pretend that you've got those pistols and play the same way, and you will dominate. What you don't realize is what you're going to do with the pistols is you have to force yourself to learn flank routes. You force yourself to move faster, aim better, cut corners, dodge bullets. You force yourself to learn to do these things that you weren't doing before because you were in a rut. You were just going through the motions because you were comfortable with where you were. And when you handicap yourself in a way, when you chain yourself down and then you break those chains and lift those burdens off your body, you are going to be able to really fly. Runners used to do this on occasion. They'd put weights on their feet until they found out it was bad for their hips and ankles and stuff like that. But that's exactly what I did in this game. I don't get very many VTOL warships. The reason I got a VTOL warship is because I played with the akimbo pistol so much and I forgot how to actually play this game, how to actually adapt and think on the fly versus just running and hosing people and being okay because I hosed down one and they killed me and I have a 2-to-1, 1.5 kill death ratio, whatever. And I promise you, if you do this, you will destroy people. This is the practical application part of it. So remember, you are not bound by any limit made by man or God. And I want you to remember, ew, that sounded a little sacrilegious there, and I want you to remember that if you burden yourself, if you handicap yourself just to test your own abilities and then unhandicap yourself and lift that burden, you're going to play better. There are some burdens in this world that are physical, some that you can't beat. I'm going to tie gamer fitness into this. By the way, if you've made it to the end of this commentary, you know I'm giving away a SCUF controller and an Elgato capture card for the winner of gamer fitness. But the guy that's in the lead right now, he goes by the username Smiting Fatty. He actually won a t-shirt in the Elgato capture card contest, but he's been exercising hard. He's actually lost 10 pounds. He's getting lighter, stronger, faster. says he feels better. He talks to me a little bit on private messages. And this is a person that I want you to look at that is removing his physical limitations. He's peeling these chains back, and he is making his life better. Not only is he going to be able to think faster, but he's going to be able to move, run faster, live longer, enjoy his life with his children, and all these other sort of things. So here we go. Call of Duty, do that. Trust me. Do the akimbo pistols method. Handicap yourself, then lift the chains. Don't look at the scoreboard, and try as hard as you can to be like Smiting Fatty here.
Hey Drifter and friends, this is Brigham again, walking on the treadmill. Just thought I'd send an update to you while I'm at the gym at my work. Today I weighed 307, which is awesome. So that's what, like 11 pounds the last couple weeks. One of the big things that attributes to this is one, walking every day. I just increased the minutes I walk to 20 minutes, so hopefully we'll get a little bit more going. Another thing, probably the biggest factor, is giving up Dr. Pepper, which that probably was around 700 or 800 calories a day. But yeah, I just want to keep you updated, let you know that I'm doing it, challenge everybody else to do it. Well, if you have a question about my glasses or safety glasses, I work with metal, so good prescription too, so kind of have to wear them to see. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.